In this class, we keep on our discussion about the motivating individuals and groups, but our focus is on rewards and incentives. So let's explain what is reward. A reward is something given to an individual or group in recognition of their services, efforts, or achievements. Many people think reward is the financial reward, or which is tangible for the staff to get it. But here, we see the rewards can be in an organization can be divided into two parts. That is, intrinsic rewards or extrinsic rewards. These rewards can be offered to employees by an organization. So let's see what are they. For intrinsic rewards, these arise from the performance of the job itself. So intrinsic rewards include the feeling of satisfaction that comes from doing a job well, being allowed to make higher level decisions, or being interested in your job. So you can see for intrinsic rewards, the people are happy, they enjoy it, with the recognition of their performance or their contribution to the organization. So here, it's not on financial or tangible. It's like the recognition of the performance, maybe by a medal or an award for them. But for extrinsic rewards, these are separate from the job itself. They are dependent on decisions of others. That is, the workers have no control over these rewards. Examples include pay, working conditions, and benefits. All these are examples of extrinsic rewards. In other words, for intrinsic rewards, it's about job itself. The staff or the employee can control the performance or the job itself. So it's talk about intrinsic rewards. But for extrinsic rewards, the staff or employee cannot control it. The decisions are made by others, dependent on other decisions, whether they have higher pay, they have better working conditions or benefits. So they are more tangible or financially related. So what we explained about intrinsic and extrinsic rewards, and you can recall what we discussed in another class about Herzberg's hygiene factors. For extrinsic rewards, they are closely to hygiene factors proposed by Herzberg's theory, and for intrinsic factors, they are tied to Herzberg's motivators. So for intrinsic factors, they are more on motivating the staff on how to improve the quality of their work, but for extrinsic rewards, it just avoids the staff to be unhappy or dissatisfied. And for the reward system, we just mentioned about types of rewards. So let's move on to talk about the reward systems. The reward system here, we talk about the offering of positive rewards to employees, which is a key motivational issue for most organizations. So we need to define what should be a reward system, or what should be designed for a reward system. First, the reward system should be fair and consistent for all employees. I think the key word here is a reward system should be fair and consistent. Even for those workers with different job sizes or required level of skills, but the core is fair and consistent. And next, the reward system should be sufficient to attract and retain staff. So let's see whether we have the pay level, which is at the market rate. If it is much lower than the market rate, we cannot retain staff, and even we cannot attract staff, or even we lose staff. And thirdly, the reward system should maintain and improve levels of employee performance. So the reward system is not discouraging the staff. We should encourage the staff by encouraging them to have better performance as well as improve their level of satisfaction. And the reward system should be reward with progression and promotion. Also, the reward system should be compliant with legislation and regulation. Say some countries, they have the minimum wage level. We have to benchmark with the minimum wage, which is the local law. We have to comply with it. And the reward system should control salary cost. We cannot have an unlimited salary increase because we have to control the salary cost as well. And all these 6 factors are the core elements in designing the reward systems. Employees can be rewarded in a number of ways, including through, say, ongoing development and training, not just financial rewards. Because for development and training, they can help to boost the staff or the employee's future career prospects. And you can recall what we discussed in another class about the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The continuous development will help to meet self-fulfillment and ego needs. So the reward systems can have different aspects for our staff to develop. And one way that business tie the performance of their employees to their pay is through the use of incentive scheme. So we just finished our discussion about the reward system. So let's move on to talk about the incentive schemes. There are 2 different concepts. For incentive scheme, there are 3 main types of incentive schemes. First, performance-related pay, or what we call PRP, performance-related pay. First, like piecework. So what does it mean? For piecework, the reward related to the pace of work or amount of effort. The faster the employee works, the higher the output and the greater the reward. In a lot of factories, piecework is one of key scheme for incentive pay or the performance-related pay, because when the workers can have more output, they will be rewarded by their number of outputs. And next, management by objective. Key results are identified for which rewards will be paid on top of salary. So it is usually applied or adopted in the senior management, because for those management members, the objectives or key performance indicator or KPI are set on them. So once they achieve it, they will be rewarded accordingly. Next, point system. For point system, this is an extension of to MBO, that is the management by objective system, where a range of rewards is available based on a point system derived from the scale of improvements made, such as the amount of cost reduction achieved. So on top of the salary, for point system, you have the senior management or even for the board members provide a list of improvement areas to the staff in order for them to achieve it. If they achieve some targets, say like cost improvement, they will be rewarded. That is called the point system. Another example of performance-related pay is commission. It is paid on the performance of an individual and typically paid to salary staff in sales functions. Because for the sales departments, the sales staff, their main target is to drive sales or more sales to the organization. So where the commission earned is a proportion of total sales made that help to boost the overall sales performance of an organization. Another type of incentive scheme is bonus scheme. It is usually a one-off as opposed to the PRP schemes which we described. Because for PRP, it is a continual management policy, but for bonus scheme, it is a one-off payment related to the performance, for example. And bonuses may also be awarded to teams or groups that have met or beaten certain targets. For group bonuses, they can help the team to pull together and work as a cohesive unit, but may lead to conflict if some members of the team are seen to be doing less work than others. So for we call it some free riders in a team, they are still entitled for the bonus because of the good work in the group. Then it can cause conflict between members in the group or in a unit. For profit sharing, it is usually available to a wide group of employees where payments are made in the light of the overall profitability of the company. Share issues may be part of the scheme. So it means that if a share is issued for the employees, because for the share, if the company is paid more dividends, in theory, the share price will be up, and it means that the employee can share the profit, part of the profit from the business growth. So there are three main types of incentive here. And incentives need to encourage effort or action towards the delivery of organizational objectives. So there may be potential conflict when contrasting long and short-term objectives. For example, sales staff offering discounts to customers to win extra orders in this year to get a bonus, maybe just before the end of the year, and it expenses of next year's sales results. To have a long-term success of an organization, we should understand well of what is long-term incentive schemes and what is short-term incentive schemes. For long-term incentive schemes, they will be those that are designed to continually motivate and deliver organizational objectives. Say, for example, the PRP, performance-related pay, because they talk about the long-term continual scheme to motivate the staff or employee to perform. But for short-term incentive schemes, they are those that motivate in the short term but do not deliver on ongoing motivation and are often achieved at the detriment of longer-term objectives. Example like the bonus. It is a bonus scheme, it is a one-off. The staff may entitle the bonus this year but may be changed in next year. So it's short-term incentive for them. So here in this class we have one question for you. There are two statements. First, incentive schemes should have a balance of long-term and short-term incentive measures to ensure staff consider the immediate and future needs of the organization. And second statement, a pawn system refers to the payment of bonuses, that is the one-off, to employees when the organization achieves a profit above a predetermined level. So which of these statements is or are correct? Remember, for the pawn system, we mentioned it is an extension of management by objectives, that or the MBO. So do you think whether it is the payment of bonuses to employees when the organization achieves a profit above a predetermined level,